Hey guys, welcome back. It's time to discuss. We're going to go into detail some little hidden secrets about the PSA GameStop collaboration for the slot machine gambling system that they have in place. They're not the only ones that do it. We got Fanatics, Drip, Arena Club, God knows how many other platforms that are all in an arms race to get the gambling out so they can make the most money off of you. While saying that it's in your best interest, they're doing everything. They're ethical. They're ethical, guys. Now, these companies are out to make money. Ethics kind of go out the window in large part. Let's take a look at this post. We got Auburn35 pointing out the values from collectors, which for anyone that isn't familiar is the umbrella company, mother company, overarching company of PSA. So they say, lead with integrity. We do the right thing even when no one is looking. Trust is our brand, and we will always make the honest and ethical decision, not necessarily the most profitable one. I'm calling full BS on this. You want a prime example? We got the Charizard that's clearly trimmed on the bottom, the PSA 10 first edition base one that was submitted by some fraudsters and not deactivated. Now, if there's anyone that can afford to open the checkbook and make these corrections that should be made, it's probably PSA, because they're charging you extra when your card's worth more and saying it's for insurance purposes. It's for the guarantee that doesn't always apply. And it seems like that might be an issue with profitability and contradictory to the values on the screen. We're committed to intellectual and interpersonal honesty. But not to mention, my biggest gripe with the grading card companies is not making things right. They're going to make mistakes. I'm okay with them making mistakes. It's going to happen. There's user error. There's human error with all of this stuff. But when they don't make it right, and when they decide that it's profitable to work with the crooks, and they still work with the crooks, and they're like, oh, I hope no one finds out we're working with the crooks. So here we go. We got to put the skunk on the table. Bad news should be shared as early as possible. We encourage our employees to talk about the uncomfortable things, as bad news only smells worse over time with no action taken. Be transparent about what is not working and create opportunities to solve problems quickly rather than letting them fester. Well, I don't know. I do a lot of discussing here, a lot of pointing at things that should be fixed that don't get fixed. Now, first issue at hand, we got some deceptive offers from PSA. We got Peak Hobby here with a post that says I was offered a 1,530 bones from PSA for my Pikachu with gray felt hat if I delist my eBay listing. So I delisted it, and PSA immediately revised the offer to $1,181.50. Was able to repeat this with the same results. Deceptive. Very deceptive. And becomes a whole bigger issue if you delist something and you send it in, and then you have the headache of having to get it shipped back. So don't like this. Shouldn't be a thing. It should just be the offer is what the offer is. Maybe they can put a timer on it if they're worried that the price is going to be so volatile. But here we have it. We got and it's got the little thing. We got some people defending this. They shouldn't. They just shouldn't. Don't put an offer there if it's not going to be the offer. And if you can consistently repeat this, it's just gross. It's unnecessary and gross. We have Poke Plumber, who made a video about this. Now, his style of video is mostly just him talking to a camera, so there wasn't any receipts shown, but it's okay. Poke NE is okay in this case. You don't have to show evidence. And he might be just more concerned. For anyone that isn't aware or can't figure it out, he has himself. His best interest, his own interest, is his only interest. If you can't pick that out, if you can't see that, my apologies. He says, I've always considered PSA a criminal organization. Seriously, it's nice to see someone finally saying something. Holy hell, dude. Like, we're just going to pretend. I haven't watched his videos, his recent ones. I'll have to get into that eventually when I have some more time. We have some more pressing issues here. Big fat phony. I'm sure there's more lies baked in there. We can go through those. Maybe I'll get time on the weekend. We can watch them then. All right. So I wish somebody would point out the PSA does some crooked shit. They mess up some stuff. The middleman problems, all of it. The PSA 10 Illustrator. And even on the topic of today, we have Mr. Justin here. Justin Rumpf, a J-boy. By birth name. We have somebody that is linked to all kinds of fraud in mystery products that is allowed to submit through PSA, that made the PSA gambling machine in Vegas. And PSA is just like, oh, change the branding. Not like, oh, we shouldn't let this guy submit cards. So there's your, when it's profitable and it's not necessarily in the best interest of anyone else, we've seen PSA's decisions that they have made. I'm critical of all the grading companies, and in large part, it's on the end of working with fraudsters. It's on the end of not correcting proven mistakes. The signatures, all of it. We've touched on just about everything. I don't know how many videos I've been critical of PSA, but it's a lot. GameStop PSA digital packs. Let's get into why these are even worse value than they seem. And yes, even on the surface, this is not good odds. You got a range here. Average card value. Now, just putting this out here. When you put your $25 in, your $50, $100, $500, $1,000, those are a real number of dollars. Now, are the values of the items you're receiving going to be those actual values? In a lot of cases, they're not. In a lot of cases, you're getting burned on the items that are within that pool. The pool conveniently shows the cool stuff, the expensive stuff, but why can't they just show the rest of it? Why don't they show the garbage that you're almost certainly going to get up in these more likely scenarios? And it's a little bit predatory, not to mention the fact that it's like, oh, 90% buyback. Now, they directly profit and benefit from you not wanting the card. That's a huge issue with mystery products in general. Chances are you're not going to get something you want. So when you sell it back and they pay you 90%, that's 90% of your real dollars, and then a 6% selling fee on top of that of your real dollars that you put in. That's getting a little greasy. Not to mention the fact that you got to pay for shipping and you got to pay a withdrawal fee. What the fuck is a withdrawal fee? What is the buyback fee? If it's just going back into the pool of mystery garbage, why is there a fee on that? Why not just leave it at the 90? What are we doing? And the thing is, too, the bad shit, the shit we're going to take a look at today, is the stuff that's going to get sold back. And you're going to be more likely to get it. Is there a certain point where all of it is just mistake trash? Like this. Never should have been graded. We got a PSA 4. Pikachu. $19 they have on this. You can buy a near mint copy. We looked at it from Japan for like $5. Near mint copy. Not a 4. Near mint copy. Is there... How much value of this is in the slab itself? Again, it's the same with mystery packs from the shadiest whatnot seller you've ever seen. He's got hand tattoos on both sides. And he is going to sell you. It's going to be Japanese stuff, which is incredibly easy to grade. So it's scary to me that something got sent in as a 4 and that it got past everything and that it was even offered up. This is embarrassing. But they're gonna put trash in there. They're gonna put stuff that shouldn't be graded. And the noob mistake, one of the biggest noob mistakes that you can make, and there's nothing wrong with being a noob. Everyone's got to get into the hobby at some point in time. The biggest noob mistake is thinking that everything should be graded and that everything that is graded is worth more money. That is not the case. I've purchased plenty of 8s and 9s for less than near mint. Crack them out, put them in the binder. All right. It might seem like they're worth more too when the market is crazy, but when the market is not crazy, a lot of the shouldn't have been graded stuff gets way worse. It gets real ugly. So then we get into mistakes that are made. I think it was somebody in my Discord had posted, and I can't seem to find it. We have other examples, but we have the buyback offers, the PSA blind buyback offers, where they're willing to buy a card from you just based on the sales history, on maybe card ladder. It looks like they seem to be using more than anything else. Not even their own price guide. We'll touch on that. But when something is sent in and they mislabel it, and the label, the card that should be in here for the label, is worth more than the card that is actually in there, people are going to sell it at a higher rate. They're going to be like, oh, they're going to pay me out on on a card that isn't even the one here. And we're going to see some of that. We have seen some of that. I forget what the card was. It was something. But here's an example where we have GameStop selling a mislabel. And whoop-de-doo, it is not Pokemon Center. The Pokemon Center stamped one. Much more valuable. So if you get a PSA offer on it, you're going to sell that back. Same if something is misgraded. If something gets a 10 and it's clearly not a 10, you might just go, I guess I'm taking PSA's offer on it. And then that offer is going to get shipped off to the mystery slabs. I'm not sure exactly if the cards that you trade in person, they're not very transparent about that. It seems like the PSA cards that PSA is buying back are largely going to the GameStop gambling machine. But I don't know if you like trade stuff in store, if that's also going to those, or it will, or not really. They don't make it real clear on that. Maybe if it sits too long in the shop, maybe there's certain items that they might think, oh, we need some of these. Bring them on over from the shops. And yes, the mistakes happen all the time. Covered it a jillion times. It's going to happen. And it doesn't matter how many steps are involved. It doesn't matter that it should be caught, according to the pizza tracker, at least 6 times. There's 6 separate instances based on the fact that I assume QA checks is checked more than once. Otherwise, it would just be QA check without the S on it. So 5, maybe it's 1 QA check. But it should be caught all the way along here. There's not really any excuse for it. If you're going to put that, if you're going to advertise that you QA things, they got to actually look to make sure that the label, that the card, that it deserves a grade, that it's authentic, all of that stuff can be caught along the way. All right. We have Powder TCG with this post says, someone sent me this. This is actually insane. So here's the kind of garbage that you're going to get mixed in there. The stuff that they don't show you, the stuff that you might get. They'll show you the cool, awesome, expensive end of things, which are also probably inflated. What? It's a 10. But again, this is like where this system does not work. Because if the sales data on it is near non-existent, if it's low pop, and it's not low pop because it's hard to grade. It's low pop because no one's grading this shit. And then how? $74. We got a Sun and Moon reverse. Just crazy. And then on PSA's own website, they estimated at $34. Probably pretty realistic. But the other thing is, if you end up with this, are you going to sell it back? Let me know in the comments. Do you sell this back at 90% less 6%? If it's showing $74, because the odds of someone pulling this and wanting it, slim to none. And if you do pull it out and you sell it yourself, who was going to buy this? Maybe somebody that's putting together a full 10 set? Like, it's like a shot in the dark to try and move any of this shit. If you don't like it, but you want to sell it yourself. So again, it's going to feed into the 90%, 6%. Oh yeah, give it back to us. Goes back in the pool. Same person pulls the same card. I assume that it just goes back into the pool of cards that we can't see. All right, we got baseball power packs. This chase was purchased 6 weeks ago, probably shilled up since then. Here's an example of something that is overinflated in terms of the value. So yes, you're putting your real money in. You're real up to $1,000 a spin on the slot machine. And they're going to just make up some prices on the stuff that you can win. Now, we've seen this before. Largely the fractional share platforms, and not even Liquid Marketplace, just fractional share platforms in general. It'll be like a price that hasn't even been achieved at any point. So here they're showing $13,150 is this sick, nasty Ernie Banks that you can win. Holy moly. And you're probably not complaining if you pull one of these. Again, the odds are not good. But if you pull one, maybe you're happy with it. We got card ladder value. So a lot of these issues stem from the fact that the card ladder value is just wrong. And it becomes more wrong when there isn't a decent sample size. And if something's a 7, the 0.5 grades shouldn't even exist. If you send this back in, you think it's getting a 7.5 again? Like, the lower the grade, the less likely it is, other than like a 1 if it's trash. Like, you folded it up into a paper airplane and jammed it up your butt. So we got a sold price, the last sold price on the exact same card, $12,600. Card ladder value, 13.15. So how do we come up with a value that's more than what this exact example, what it sold for, and not something that's going to sell all the time. Here's some, we got 2024, 2025. I believe these two are the same one, 12.6, 12.6, $9,300. So just deceptive in terms of whether intentional or not, using that card ladder price, which is wrong. Like even, and then we get into like manipulation. How easy would it be to manipulate this number if you just fake a sale? They're gonna pull that data, and then you're paying for something. So there's manipulated cards as well. We got Salvo G cards here asking power packs if it's a glitch. We got a Doduo, $19. It's a 9. Japanese cards. The Japanese cards always show up in the mystery crap because they're so easy to grade. So you're like, oh yeah, it's 151. It's a Doduo. It's a Master Ball. Surely it's expensive, right? Well, if it didn't hit the 10, you shouldn't have sent this thing in. What is it on TCG Player? $5? You can buy it for cheaper elsewhere. Crazy. What's it sell for here? $3.69 a couple times recently. $3 card. So again, where's the Doduo go? Straight back into the pool, into the unseen pool. I can only imagine the criticism that we could do if we could see the entire pool of what was available for any individual pull. And like if people are praising the transparency with like, oh, you can see the odds and you can see what the good stuff is. Why is no one asking to see the garbage? That shouldn't have been graded garbage that's all hiding within there. And might get even worse. We got Brooks here, says, anything we can do about this? Why did I get a basketball card in my baseball pack? I feel robbed. I don't even like basketball all that much. So, as far as I can tell, as far as they can tell, there is no way to get this resolved. You're stuck. Maybe this is one of those scenarios where they're just banking on, oh, just sell it back for 38.25. And I think this number doesn't include the 6%. Just sell it at a loss. Let somebody else deal with the same issue over and over and over and over and over again. We got Nomoshi says, finally got my hands on physical GameStop power pack thanks to a Perky Tank. And I thought this one was kind of funny because it's the GameStop. This is a card that they're supposed to be giving out for free. But now it's made its way through the PSA buyback, and now they're selling you the card that should be given out for free. It's in a slab. It's a 10. But again, it's just weird. It's like a weird crossover there. I really hope this is a joke. We have someone saying, I lost $100 in power packs this weekend, but technically it isn't a loss because I helped GameStop financials. So my loss in Pokemon cards will balance out my gains from my stock I hold. Fuck, I hope they're kidding. All right, let's Burger Chew. Prime example of somebody grades a card. The price is going to plummet. The price maybe is already plummeting. They're going to take that buyback offer. They're going to take it from the buy offer from PSA after they grade. When you get your submission back, they're going to take it because it's dropping in price. They need to sell it immediately. And this is a thing that happens all the time anyway. Back before PSA was going to sell your cards for you, back before PSA was going to put them into gambling products, people would go buy the thing, the brand new thing, send it in, express grading as fast as possible so they can get it on the market and charge a premium on it. Terrible way to spend your money. Now, sometimes people just want to waste money. Other times people are new and don't understand that the brand new thing that just came out that the packs haven't been opened for and is not very, even pre-release stuff. Just stay away from it if you want to get good value. That's like one of the key fundamentals of not getting hosed. Same with playability. Same with the new shiny thing. Same with the thing that everyone wants and needs and has to have. So we got a 9. This thing is incredibly hard to 9. And not in a good way. Because it's almost always a 10. We have ZNG with this post here. It says, since my story less than 24 hours ago, PSA has added 2,600 PSA 10 McDonald's Picas to the pop report. Almost 2 PSA 10s are entering the pop every minute. 102,000 PSA 10s. So the people that bought those early on that FOMO'd in, got absolutely destroyed. The Pikachu comes in every single one of the packs that was distributed. Yes, they got bought out. Yes, they were scalped. We saw the just stupid amount that individuals had. It was not a good buy. It was clearly not a good buy. It's not rare. It is neat, but it's not rare. And it shouldn't be expensive, and it won't be expensive. So what are we up to now? 105,121 tens. So short of somebody accidentally mashing this up with the fries in the bag, or the whatever else they jam into your meals that you were purchasing to buy these things, it's gonna get a 10, almost always. We got 105,000 tens. We got 8,852 nines, and then a variety down below. Someone sent in a couple ones. They probably damaged them so that the PSA 1 premium is just one of the stupidest things to exist. My apologies if that's what you like to collect, but like people purposely damaging cards in order to get the one because it'll sell for more than many of the other in-between grades is like, it's so stupid. It's just, it hurts. So here's the Pikachu. Swoop, swoop. We got a nice little up and down there. A nice little, it's doesn't matter. It's just very available. The same thing. We're going to see a giant fall off with the Phantasmal Flames Charizard. You see the amount that people are pulling. The product hasn't been released. The card is easy to pull because there aren't that many SIRs, because it's one Japanese set made into an English set, and it's almost identical to the Obsidian Flames situation. All right, so let's get into more mislabels. If you get a mislabel, it doesn't seem like there's any way to get it solved other than sell it back to GameStop. And this is more on their website where they're selling the graded slabs. Same thing applies. It's still being graded by the same company. It's still we're gonna have mistakes that flow through PSA, and you're gonna get shafted. People got shafted in terms of these mislabels, fake cards that were traded in, that were purchased by GameStop, which I hope the fake cards that are being sold to GameStop, because again, GameStop is not a trained professional in any way. They're usually selling video games. For them, for you to expect that they know the value of this stuff, even if they can just scan it or type in the cert number, shouldn't be a thing. So this is apparently a Shining Legends Mew, and it's another one of those situations. Mistakes like this get made. GameStop's going to accidentally buy them from customers, or the customers that have a label that's worth more than whatever the card is inside. If it's going to pay out higher than what it should, if it says it has a stamp but it doesn't have a stamp, GameStop's just going to blindly accept those. Maybe there's probably a couple of GameStop employees out there that are Pokemon card experts. I shouldn't say all, but the vast majority of the GameStop people don't know what's going on in terms of Pokemon cards, and it's not really their responsibility. All right, so we had the fake stuff. If you haven't seen this video, and this video, the hoops that people had to jump through in order to get a refund on buying fake cards. They bought it on the GameStop website, and the GameStop website just shows a scan of a real card. They show the PSA scans rather than scanning the actual cards themselves. So then people receive the card. They end up with a fake card that has the same cert number, and voila, pain in the absolute buns. All right. I really hate this. We're going to have creators that are going to make content about GameStop pulls. They're going to show the gambling on stream, and they're going to come up with lots of disclaimers. If you haven't seen the recent Beckett video on the absolute shit show that is Beckett, just ignore Jake's hat right there real quick. All right, so he's going to go in. He talks about, to give him credit, he does talk about how it's gambling and gamble responsibly. All those disclaimers. He says he's not sponsored in any way. He's in the beta. But again, whenever someone's making content about stuff that is not good value, I mean, especially if you're a Pokemon YouTuber who gives people financial advice, should you buy this? Should you not buy this? Is it the right time to buy this? Even if it's all your opinion, why are we pushing people to gambling? And if you're opening mystery products, we had Rev opened every mystery product that he could, and he was able to, and it should be made very clear in any video like this one that this is not a good idea. and that it's not going to be a loss for him. Like if he loses a little bit of money, even with the buyback, gets his money back, whatever, if you have a video to subsidize that, and I mentioned this many times in the Pokemon, even the Pokemon card openings, the large Pokemon card openings are not a good idea if you do not have an audience that is going to watch those. Now, if you're okay with bad value, you can open Pokemon cards. If you want a specific card and you don't enjoy opening, you shouldn't open them. Now, I'm going to call a little bit of BS on this little point here, and this is kind of contradictory to the guys. I can do this because you're watching the video.
That I would probably do in my own time anyway, so I'm pretty much...
I don't believe you. If you are, and it's bad value, and you understand it's bad value, that's one thing, but like, why are you going to say this instead of make it clear? Hey guys, I'm making a video. I'm doing a bad thing. It's bad value. I'm going to lose money, but it's not going to be so bad because you, the audience, are watching the ads on the video. And or sponsorship and or whatever. So again, it's just like, why does it crash? Why does it crash? Buy this. Should you buy this? Should you buy that? That kind of content. I think it should just be a little bit more clear that no, you shouldn't gamble on these cards, and probably just in bad taste in general to be advertising it. Because even the Rev stuff, Rev accidentally showed a mystery product that was assembled by a scammer. And even if the mystery product turns out to be shit and he calls it shit, it's still going to encourage people to purchase that product. It's going to drive people towards that. Sad, but true. They see gamble. I'll give it a shot. That sort of thing. And it wasn't his fault. He had no affiliation with the company, but I think it's important to note that, like, especially if Rev or somebody with a giant platform is doing an opening, that it's not costing them money. They might not make a ton of money on it, but they're not going to lose their ass like you would if you do it at home. All right, Linktree, before we get into the next part, I'm not going to sell you any gambling. I'm not gonna ask you to spin a wheel for some junk slabs. PSA Pikachu, Secure Card Shop, Card Market, Buyee, collector app for tracking your collection, a bunch of discount codes, save some money while you support the channel, and a bunch of affiliate links that you can click. Again, don't buy anything that you don't want. Don't need it, don't want to. Thank you to everyone that does actually click on the links before they purchase. Truly appreciate it. And it's going to play into something here a little soon. All right, Card Market. Thank you to Card Market for sponsoring. Buy the singles that you want. They can be graded. They can be ungraded. If you want them not graded and you're in the European regions, you can get them on Card Market. If you want the exclusive stuff that's over there and you're not from Europe, make a friend that you trust. Get them to purchase it, deliver it to them, have them forward it over to you. It's a great little tool for that. Now, I guess we got to wait a little bit before we get into the stuff that I just alluded to. All right, so we have this post here, a Reddit post that says, today I learned that PSA will still offer you money on your unslabbed cards. I really hope this isn't the case. Take this one with a grain of salt. I did some digging and I can't tell. So if you have been in this situation where you put a minimum grade, let's say you say it's got to get a 10 or I don't want it graded, and you got offers on those raw cards, please let me know. So here they say, if you submit $45 plus sub, you have the option to request for min grade. If the card does not hit your requested grade, they will return it to you unslabbed. But I found it very interesting. They still will offer you money to buy it from you. This is a huge issue, and I did require some context on this. So I reached out to Nat Turner. I said, is this real, fake, and or a mistake? And Nat said, likely a mistake. There's no way any of the buyer participants in the PSA offers program would actually want to buy raw cards from anyone. And I came back with, if someone selected to sell them, they wouldn't get graded and sold. That was 6 days ago. I have not received a response. So it could be that he doesn't know, that he's not familiar with that end of things. If there's anyone that is familiar, please chime in down below, or please reach out to me, because that seems a little dirty. We had some, this is the post got removed, so we got a nice little screenshot of it. This analogy We have Gosh Golly LOL, who says, this is like a mechanic shop telling you your car is fucked and giving you a wild quote to fix it, but also offering to buy your car for some lowball amount. I think that's a pretty good analogy. We got somebody going a bit further. PSA, good news, your car is in perfect condition, so we're happy to let you know we are upcharging you for having such a nice car, but don't worry, we will buy it at a discount if you need the money. Yeah, the buyback thing is weird, and it's weird that it isn't more publicly stated like where the product is going, that it's going into the gambling machine that has PSA's name on it. But it seems like that's where the majority of it is flowing. Not cool. Not cool, any of it. All right, let's touch on the old notifications. I had the channel, the #1 channel hater. He comments like 16 times on every video. Say hi to him down below if you know who it is. But he was like, oh, Rattle, I didn't even need to get in a fight or line up or anything, and I'm getting Pokemon card packs. It's almost like someone was saying all along that the Pokemon Company, as they've done several times over the entire history of the Pokemon trading card game and the releases, when the product is not available on shelves, they turn up the printers. It is not immediate. They're going to print more, and the impacted sets drop in price and become more available. And at some point in time, big box is not going to be the best option. It's currently the best option. It has been the best option through the majority of the year, but that's only because they don't typically raise the price. We had GameStop raise the price on a lot of their stuff. Traditionally, the game stores, especially online, are going to be a better price. Is it going to get printed to the point that everything is less than big box? I think so. We've seen it. It's been more available. If you're not in the Discord, free Discord, we have Pokemon Doctor here, the notorious Pokemon Doctor, who is not happy with his $7.99 a month that you're wasting on Poke-Notify. He wants you to also click on his referral link to go gambling on Drip Shop. So he knows how referral links, he knows how affiliate links work, but he needs your $7.99 a month times 60,000. It's probably close to $500,000 that people are wasting on Poke-Notify. And then we have Jake that's going to tell people to go there. Again, he's going to give all kinds of financial advice on whether you should buy something now, buy something later, mark it up, mark it down. But he's also going to tell you to waste $7.99 a month for someone that wants to also sell you gambling with a referral link. So there's one thing sending people onto a platform like Whatnot. Drip is kind of just, it's like the trickle down. Like if you get banned from Whatnot, just head on over to Drip. Drip initially was in talks with me. They were on board. I was going to provide them with information. If somebody got banned from Whatnot, if they're scammers, they were going to use that information. They got real quiet when they were selling a fraudster's mystery products on their platform and just stopped responding. So they don't want to do the right thing. A lot of these companies don't want to do the right thing when it hurts their bottom line. It's sad to see it. And it's sad to see that it's so forgiven and so widespread. And a lot of it is like, oh yeah, but Whatnot's worse. No. As usual, please don't go overboard with it. Haha. Please, guys, don't gamble too much. Oh, and then you see, it's going to be like copy paste on the different platforms. Pretty similar situation here where the majority of the time you're going to get trash. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into where they pull the values from. But again, the trashy areas, like most mystery products, are going to have dog water. Now, if you think, Rattle, how do I know if I should spend $7.99 a month or not? There's a free way to find out. You can go in to the Rattle Pokemon Discord. You can ask 71,497 people if you should just go in there and type, should I spend $7.99 on Poke-Notify? And let me know how it turns out. They might troll. They might say, yeah, you should do it. All right, next we got Arena Club. We got too many gambling competitors. They're all out to get your gambling addiction dollars. And this is just straight. This is gross. This is worse than when GameStop or Power Packs retweeted the don't spend your last $50 on Power Packs. Like, you're kind of like making light of a situation where someone If you only have $50, the last thing that you should be spending it on is power packs or any gambling whatsoever. Don't do it. What are you doing? Them to retweet that is like just gross. We got Boston Card Hunter with a little discovery here. Arena Club sending out these nice little messages to their gambling aficionados. Surely it goes out to all the most gambling of gamblers, or maybe just anyone that gambled at any point on their gamble app, gamble site. They say, hey, blank, it's me, the guy who writes all the emails at Arena Club. I normally don't send emails like this, but are you good? 1 minute you were ripping slab packs and then you just stopped. Hope everything is well. If it is, you should go rip another slab pack so my boss doesn't get mad at me for not being something convince you to rip another pack. That's weird. All right, let's see what that word says. Not being able to convince you to rip another pack. What the fuck? Like, you would... No disclaimer for like, hey, if you have gambling issues, call this number. Nothing of the sort. Just, come on, get on in here. And it gets worse. There's more. We got this one, ready for a comeback. It's been 15 days since your last pack rip, and honestly, we miss you around here. We miss your ability to spend money on gambling. To get you back into the excitement, we've got a special offer for you. A free slab safe. What the fuck is this? Is that like a slab protector? Use code blank. Code must be self-applied at checkout. Holy hell, man. We got an email here. Crazy. Hey, blank. It's the guy who does all the emails at Arena Club. You probably think this is some automated email trying to get you to come back and rip a slab pack, huh? Well, you're absolutely right. Except I wrote this email myself with a bit of help from ChatGPT. I wanted to give you a 25% discount to get you back into the action. Use code ACLMNOP. The code will only work on gold, ruby, emerald, diamond, or legendary packs. It would be really cool if you came back and got a pack so that I can tell my boss I'm doing a good job. What the fuck? If you don't want to, it's all good. I'll start updating my resume now. Please, come back and gamble. My boss is going to fire me. And then we have another example here. Where he mentions that this is predatory advertising and not something that a casino would be allowed to do. And you're essentially running a casino here, especially when there's a buyback value. We've seen the same thing on Facebook Marketplace where they're like, oh yeah, enter my illegal lottery, razzle dazzle, waffle extreme, with keywords that are not raffle and or lottery, because then Facebook would pick up on it. So you got to call it something else. And they'll offer a buyback. So then if people are taking the buyback, it's even more lottery-like because there's a cash incentive to winning. Even if it's a fraction of whatever the value is of the card that you pulled. So he's got Matt Litt, a collector and attorney who wants to take a look into this stuff. So if you received one of those emails, you can contact them. Crazy. All right, one last thing here to let you guys... No, and I didn't know what other video to put this in. If I'm being honest, we have Hagen212 on the Instagram with this one. PSA didn't grade his card, and they sent it back, but they didn't bother to put the sleeve back on it before they put it in the semi-rigid. Interesting. We've seen, and again, mistakes are going to happen. That's not acceptable by any means. Not making excuses here, but just... crazy incompetence, and then also, more importantly, is clean up the fucking mess. All right, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this was insightful. Be careful. Even worse than the surface, by far. Take care.